What's up everyone, Howler here, coach of your Delta Gliders, although we're not really using team names in the BFO Surge Showdown tournament. Yes, this is the bye week for pack playoffs, so I figured I'd run through the first 3 games that I played in this ongoing Showdown tournament. If you've never heard of BFO Surge, it's a tournament where you start off by drafting low-tier Pokemon, and then each round you get points added to your budget and you're allowed to trade for higher tier Pokemon. So you start off with a kind of a really crappy team per se, like team of Pokemon you don't see so often, and then you end up with some top tier threats. Although Dragapult, I believe, is actually banned, and Urshifu, I think, is also banned, but Pokemon like that you don't get to use, but you get what I'm saying, alright? You may have seen some BFO Wi-Fi content on YouTube, maybe not as much Showdown, but I would have done the Wi-Fi if it was on Sword and Shield. Anybody still playing Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is a fucking loser, okay? We're not about that. We are not about that shitty game. I like Pokemon. I like good Pokemon games. We don't waste our time with bad Pokemon games like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So, we are sticking with the Showdown tournament. You can see my team here. The way I usually go about drafting for this is the 3rd time that I've played in the Surge tournament. This is the 4th Showdown, the 4th edition of the Surge, 3rd time I've played in it. So, the way that I've usually drafted before is I start off by drafting 7 Pokemon. You're allowed to draft up to 8. Obviously, you have to have at least 6. 8 is the maximum. And I usually take 7 to start and then build up from there. Decide when I want to add an 8th Mon. But I actually ended up drafting 8 right off the bat this time. I had 3 points left for my last 2 picks, and I wanted a ground type. Marowak was there as a 3-point ground type, but I was like, I don't really think I want Marowak that much. I'm going to take Camerupt for 2 points, and then have 1 point left over for Servine, which I actually never ended up bringing Servine for the whole time that I had it on my team. So Camerupt is here, Servine is 1 Pokemon on the bench, and the other Pokemon on the bench for me in this game is Poliwrath. Which was an 8-point Mon. You will see it in the next game, and that was the only game that it played for me for the time it was on this team. So anyways, my team really quickly is Gut Swellow. This first game is against Omerta from Australia, and I don't remember the Pokemon that they did not bring. I know that they had, pretty sure that they had 8 Mons to work with, and these are the ones that they chose to bring. So we're just going to run through these games. Some of them were played quite a while ago, so I'll try my best to give as good as commentary as possible. So Bruxish is the lead against my Rotom, which is a pretty good matchup for me. I am Colbur, so I don't fear like taking a crunch. I can just stay in and go for Volt Switch pretty freely. I don't believe that they had a ground type on their team, so that's one of the reasons why Rotom was very good in this matchup. So I get to bring in my Swallow right away because I don't think this Muck wants to take a Facade, and they do have the Bronzong to switch in, so I'm just kind of seeing what they wanted to do here. They show that they have Protect and Black Sludge, so I'm fine bringing in my Camerupt if they were to stay in with this Muck, because they'll take the Rocky Helmet damage there, and I can set up my Stealth Rocks. I think I went for Stealth Rocks here, yep. So Excelgor is going to come in. I'm like, what can Excelgor do to me? Are they really going to have Water Shuriken for Camerupt? I don't think so. They do show off the Encore though, good plays by them, but that's okay. I still have my Rotom that I can switch in. To this Excelgor, we resist Stab Bug Buzz. I'm fine. I have Defog on this Rotom, I believe. I'm not too bothered by 1 spike on my side of the field. I think rocks on his side are much more damaging for him than 1 spike on my side. So it's weird that you can't see the spike on my side of the field, but it's definitely there. So We go for Shadow Ball. It's a 2-hit KO. I think I would have knocked the Guzzlord out with Volt Switch if it stayed in, so I went for it and got momentum on the Muck. We go for Lava Plume, predicting him maybe want to switch, but then he shows Protect, and I switch up my moves, catch him with the Earth Power, and the Muck goes down. He can bring in the Bruxious now to revenge me with the Waterfall. I'm fine letting Camerupt go down here. And we will get momentum into our Guzzlord, which in this game is Life Orb. And Guzzlord is about to go on a rampage in these first 3 games, let me tell you. We'll get rid of the Grapplock's Rocky Helmet, and then I decide to just go straight for the Outrage to wipe this thing off the field, because I'm thinking once the Grapplock goes down that Iron Defense Body Press Registeel is looking very, very nice in this game. So I know that he did not have a Ghost type on his team either, so Rest Talk Iron Defense Body Press Registeel is very free. Lucky for us, we survived with 1% on the Guzzlord and break through Confusion, so we knock out the Bronzong with the knockoff. Guzzlord just comes in and does massive amounts of damage to these low-tier Pokemon. So I can bring in Swallow now, because I would pick off the Excelgor with Quick Attack, and I outspeed the Flapple, of course, and the Bruxious. However, I do have an inkling that this is a Scarfed Bruxious, so I want to scout for that, and when the Bruxious comes on the field, I switch out into the Registeel to take the Psychic Fangs. And I really, really wanted to double out into Rapidash that turn, but I just didn't do it. Because I had no confirmation that the Bruxious was scarfed. I just kind of, that's something that I had a thought of. And I'm going to get punished for not making that prediction, because turns out this Flapple set is a very unorthodox set. And you're about to see why Flapple, in my opinion, is a very underrated Pokemon. Because I think it's a lot more versatile than people give it credit for. Really, when you think Flapple, you just think Dragon Dance Hustle. But it can do a lot more than that. Its Ripen ability is really solid in tandem with Recycle. And you know, in the right matchup, it can be used as a good defensive tool, similarly to like Alolan Executor with Harvest and whatnot. So this thing is going to start. It sets up an Iron Defense, so I can't really do much. I'm not doing hardly any damage to him with Play Rough. It'd be nice if I had Swords Dance on this right now instead of Baton Pass, but I kind of figured as long as Bronzong was around, this thing was kind of just meant to like bait in a Bronzong, and then I could get Baton Pass momentum off. So my play here is just kind of continue to spam Play Rough, and maybe see if I can get a crit with this Rapidash, and if I don't, then I'm just going to have to try to get a crit with the Registeel instead. This thing just doesn't want to attack me either. I'm like, he keeps going for double leech, like in case I switch out into something, but like I think he could have tried, just continued to have gone for Iron Defenses to boost his defense further. And he's also not attacking me. There we see Protect, which is the 4th move. Now we know his entire set. He has no attacking moves. It's Iron Defense, Leech Seed, Recycle, Protect. So I know that as long as I get a crit with something, I'm going to try to get a crit with this Registeel. As long as I get a crit with something, this game is, I win this game. Because, especially once Registeel gets boosted up, with gets his defense stat boosted up, like he can't do anything to break through it. His team is too weak. He's got the Bruxious, which is a physical attacker, never going to do any damage. And the Excelgor, it does have Focus Blast, but it's still not going to really hurt me that much. So you know how this is going to go. I'm gonna speed this the rest of this part up, and there are some mind games at play here, because he has Protect. I only have so many Body Press PP. I don't want to Body Press into a Protect. So I'm gonna try to play some mind games here. At some point, I start going for Rest and then not even clicking Sleep Talk. So I'm only gonna like click. My plan is to click Sleep Talk 1 out of every 2 turns that I'm asleep from rest. And the other thing he could do here, if he wanted to, is just switch out into the Guzzlord and go for an Encore. And if he wants to do that and get rid of his defense boost on the Flapple, I am more than okay with that. Because, you know, then we'll probably still end up playing the same game anyway. And also I'm like clicking rest, so clicking rest at a point where I avoid trying to be in range for a Guzzlord Focus Blast. So there I'm asleep and I don't click Sleep Talk. But turn 44, I am... Oh no, I just wake up normally, and there's the crit. So down goes the Flapple. That was just kind of bound to happen. Eventually, I was going to get a crit, and as you see, we only take 48%. It's not even... The Focus Blast isn't even a 2-hit KO, and we don't have any SPDEF investment on this particular... Registeel. Actually, I might have been more SPDEF oriented. I'm not really sure. All I know is I was max HP. You always bring max HP on the Registeel. So, yeah, Registeel. I had the 7th pick in my draft pod of 8, and common 10-point mons that were allowed and that were obviously going to be taken really early on were like Indeedee and Tornadus. Those, in my opinion, are the 2 best 10-point mons. So my thought process was, you know what? Screw these Indeedees and Tornadus teams. I'm going to pick Registeel, which is really the only thing that I can take that can switch into both of those insane threats to, you know, in this low-tier format. So, and then the next pick was Swellow, which was also a 10-point mon. I'm not the biggest Swellow fan myself, but I do like really fast mons. So we're giving Swellow another shot after I had actually drafted it on my IVL Season 6 Championship team and then dropped it mid-season. That was the only transaction that I made. I dropped it for Chandelure. I did not have a Fire or a Ghost type on that initial draft, and I think Chandelure made the team a lot better. But we are giving Swellow another shot. Gage and the FO really wanted me to take it, so I do think it is good in the lower tier rounds of this tournament, but I'm not too sure if I'm gonna keep it for the duration of the tournament. So, anyways, we get a 3-0 win in this game. We're ready to move on to game number 2 against Fran, who is her friend Frandali. I think it used to be Frandali, and then he changed his name to Frandy. So. Fran is actually somebody in my Discord server and in my front office. The first time that we're actually battling him. And don't ever have this attitude going into a Pokemon battle against somebody who you consider to be much better than you. Let's say this. Pokemon is a game of chance. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day. Somebody may be favored to win a game, doesn't always mean it's going to turn out that way. Don't ever think that you're not good enough to beat somebody. Like, give it your best shot. You never know what's going to happen. Fran built a team in like 5 minutes because they were like, I am never going to beat Howler. That's a bad attitude. If you're trying to accomplish something meaningful, always put in your 100%. You never know what's going to happen, right? So, anyways, let's get into the game. I decided to lead with the Rotom again, I think, because, yeah, I led with Rotom in both of these round 1 games. I had the same... You play the first 2 games with the same team, and then after that, you're allowed to make trades in between every game. But we can go for Volt Switch here. I mean, Togedemaru could be Lightning Rod. That would be the only electric immunity for him. He does have Sandaconda and Skuntank that he sat out in this game. Of course, I set out Servine and Galarian Rapidash. So we just bring in the camera up right away on the Togedemaru to get the Stealth Rocks up. And Charizard comes in Fran kind of had a brain fart here and forgot that, you know, ground types can get rock moves to hit the 4 times weak mons to rock. So down goes the Charizard right away. Camerupt was my switch into the Charizard. And now it's Guzzlord time, alright? We are eject pack Guzzlord. We're dropping Dracos because Fran does not have a fairy on this team. I cannot believe how much I've been going up against teams with no fairies. Like, I drafted Regidrago in the previous Surge tournament because I thought it was a cool mon to use for only 6 points. And every single game I ran into a team with a fairy, so it wasn't as easy to use as I would have liked. But Guzzlord is showing that, yeah, if you don't draft a fairy, the Dragon-type mons are going to destroy you. So this Blossom is really, really fat. I could not believe that a Body Press didn't at least break its substitute. But because it is substitute, we are Specs Boomburst Swellow in this matchup, so I can just go into the Swellow and click Boomburst and damage the Blossom right through its substitute. It's not quite strong enough to knock it out, but Fran goes for another sub. I guess not necessarily, you know, expecting me to be the spec set, because the first time I brought in Swellow, I just went for U-turn. And this Togedemaru is like max Spadef. To be able to take the hit that well, Togedemaru is not a very bulky Pokemon, so turns out this is going to be a Wishing Togedemaru, which I don't think is a bad set in general. It's just it doesn't have very much HP, so it's not going to be it's certainly not the fattest Wish you've ever seen, but it's able to keep itself healthy at least. So we'll go into the Camerupt once again. I don't think we've seen whether or not this thing has or no, we do know that it has U-turn, so I do have to stay in and go for Earth Power into the obvious Jellicent switch in. But that's cool because I can just bring out Guzzlord against the Jellicent. I'm not too afraid of what this Jellicent is going to be able to do to me. And we can go for a Dark move. Yep, it's Dark Pulse. We are a fully special Guzzlord this week, so we're going to get the Beast Boost in special attack after the Blossom gets sacked off. Now, I already know that I'm faster than this Girder, and I have Dragon Pulse on this set as well, so I can just go for the Dragon Pulse to knock out the Girder after it goes for Mach Punch. We'll get to +2 special attack. In comes the Togedemaru. We know that it has U-turn, but I'm pretty confident that I can take a U-turn and just click another button and do tons of damage. I thought about going for Dark Pulse, but I was like, no, we're going to click Fire Blast. That's an OHKO on Glastrier. You do not often see Glastriers get OHKO'd. They are very, very bulky Pokemon. So Fran was actually in my draft pool. Fran had the 6th pick right before me. And in my front office, they were saying, I'm kind of feeling Jellicent, and let's give Jellicent a try. And then I was looking at the draft pod, and I saw, well, Glacier is only 7 points. I really want to take Glacier. Jellicent's looking like a really, really good partner for Glacier because, you know, Jellicent resists 3 of Glacier's 4 weaknesses and can set up Trick Room for it, which I think is really, really, really good. But Fran did not see that message. They took Jellicent anyway, so I was like, you better pick Glastrier now because you sniped me. And unfortunately, they did draft Glacier, but they haven't been enjoying it as much as I would have. They basically have the team that I wanted to take, at least the Jellicent Glacier core that I wanted to take for this tour. You know, if I had tagged them in my chat, I didn't tag them and say, hey, don't pick Jellicent, I want Jellicent. They would have taken Incineroar instead. They would have been totally fine with that. But it is what it is. We've still got a pretty decent team on our hands. So I could have played for a 6-0 there if I really wanted to, but it's not that important to me. Especially would feel bad 6-0ing Fran, who is a good friend, somebody that I know pretty well. I didn't want to do them dirty or anything. So we let the Guzzlord go down. We brought in the Rotom to try to do damage to the Jellicent, but it's not an offensive Rotom this time. It was we were modest max special attack Rotom in the first game, but we're more of a defensive spread in this game. But now we're able to get John Cena, the female Poliwrath, in, and we are a sub Belladrum set. And turns out we don't actually even need an attack boost to knock out the Togedemaru there with Drain Punch. I was kind of surprised that it took it out, honestly, but I think we were adamant no attack investment on the Poliwrath because we were going to boost we were going to go to +6 with the Belly Drum anyway. So this obviously was not necessary, but I had already decided that I was dropping Poliwrath by this point, so I know this is the only game that it's going to see. So I was like, John Cena got a flex in his only game. So yeah, we're going to go overkill there with the Belly Drum into Darkest Lariat to knock out the Jellicent, and we'll pick up a 4-0 win. Move to 2-0 +7 after the first 2 games. So the way this tournament works, if you start 2-0, you are going to get matched up against another 2-0 player in the third round, and then it's one game every round for the rest of the time. So like if you go 1-1, you're going to get matched up against another 1-1 player. If you go 0-2, you'll get matched up against another 0-2 player, and so on. If you start 3-0, you'll get matched up against another 3-0 player. And then basically everybody who wins, it's like a 64-person tournament, so basically everybody who wins at least 3 of their 5 preliminary round games, they will be a lock to make it to brackets. Essentially, that's how it works. If there are some funny things with the records, then there may be some very few people that have low differentials with a 3-2 record that miss out, but you get what I'm saying. Like you try to win 3 of your preliminary round games to get into the brackets and then see what happens. So we are 2-0. If we get one more win, we should be basically a lock. So we did trade. You see, we have new mods. All right, we traded Poliwrath for Volcanion. Poliwrath was an 8-point mon. Volcanion was a 12-point mon. So initially in the draft, you're only allowed to take mons that are 10 points or lower. Now that the budget has increased by 10 points, you're allowed to take Pokemon that are worth up to 12 points. So that's going to be the Volcanion. So that's a 4-point upgrade. We have 6 points left to work with. So even though we did bring Camerupt to the first 2 games, we've got another fire type now in the Volcanion. So we drop Camerupt and upgrade it to Mudsdale, which is a 6-point jump from 2 points to 8 points. So those are the 2 trades that we made. We still have Servine on the team for now, but once again, we did not bring it to this game. This third game is against Young Bisharp. He's only got 7 mons on his team. The one mon that he did not bring here is the Minior. And this, you'll see, is a Registeel Mirror matchup. And we're going up against the Indeedee that I mentioned. That is one of the bigger offensive threats in this format. So we definitely have a lot more wilder sets in this game. As you see, there's less I don't really lose much if I lose this, right? I only need 1 win in the next 3 games to basically guarantee my spot in the brackets. So we'll start the game now. We don't have Rotom in this game, so we're gonna pick a different lead besides the Rotom. And this is kind of a strange Swallow set, but it's also a very different Swampert set. This moves before me, so it's Choice Scarfed. And I am not timid or jolly Swallow, because the fastest Pokemon on his team by base speed, as long as you don't count Minior, is the Indeedee. So I was like Focus Sash set up. I was trying to bait in his Registeel so I could get either a Reversal or an Endeavor off, but that didn't work because Choice Scarf Swampert came out and hit 2 Stone Edges in a row. So now in comes the Registeel. We are Blunder Policy Zap Cannon, which is super cool because, once again, his team is not fast. So if we get to +2 speed, we're outspeeding everything with a little bit of speed investment on this to try to outspeed his Indeedee. And we have Zap Cannon to paralyze his Unburdened Drift Blim, which is super cool. We're also Air Balloon Volcanion. So we know that Swampert is locked into Earthquake because we know he's Scarf. So I can bring the Volcanion out for free after we get a little bit of damage off against him. Keep the Registeel in the back as basically a sack to his Indeedee. We'll go for a Flame Charge boost. Now, Young Bisharp doesn't have a water resist on its team. He was kind of just assuming I would bring Specs, and whenever it comes in, I claim a kill. But no, I wanted to try a little something different, because if I run Specs, then I can't run Flame Charge. I have no way of boosting my speed, so my thought was like, I don't need Specs to do shit tons of damage with Volcanion in this matchup. I want to be able to run Flame Charge. So I can get Volcanion in for free there. Flame Charge on the Rotom, and then Flamethrower at next turn. Swampert can come in and see maybe if he'll outspeed me with the Scarf, but I am Modest Volcanion with max speed investment, so he doesn't outspeed me. I get the Steam Eruption off to KO that thing. And then the Indeedee comes in. I save the Registeel for that exact purpose to sack against the Indeedee. Actually, we got and we were able to hit a Zap Cannon and paralyze the Drift Blim, actually. So Guzzlord once again wreaking havoc. He actually did have Destiny Bond on that Drift Blim for my Guzzlord, which I thought was a pretty cool bring. But he never got to go for it. I think I don't even remember. I think he was fully parried on that turn that I Dragon Tailed him out, so that the next time he comes in, he's not going to be fast anymore, and we could just outspeed him. And we Dragon Tailed him into the Indeedee. We went for knockoff. As you see here, Dazzling Gleam, though 4 times super effective on Guzzlord, was not even a 2-hit KO because Guzzlord is ridiculously fat. We were max Spadef Assault Vest on this, so that's why it was not a 2-hit KO. And of course, Indeedee is incredibly frail on the Fizdef side, so knockoff. We knocked off a Terrain Extender, actually, which I thought was a pretty interesting choice. And at that point, he just decides to forfeit, so that's going to count as a 4-0 win for us. So we start the first 3 games 3-0 plus 11, which basically guarantees us in brackets. We would have to suffer 2 extremely devastating and blowout losses for us to have any chance of missing brackets at this point. I do plan on recording those games or like post-commenting over them and posting them to YouTube eventually. I don't know exactly when, but so I will say the trades that I made for the next game, we dropped Servine, which was just something that I wasn't bringing. It's not that I don't think it was a good mon. There was another team that drafted Servine. They brought it to one of their games, and like Servine put in ridiculous amounts of work for them in that game. It basically just won them the game. Like they just dropped it in, and Sub Glare Leech Seed Leaf Storm was enough to just tear through their opponent's team. So it's definitely a viable pick in this type of tournament. I mainly took it because it was another like defogging option to get rid of rocks, because Swellow really does not want to be switching in on rocks constantly. But yeah, so we did get rid of the Servine, and we picked up Clefairy, so that Clefairy is only 3 points, so that was a 2-point upgrade. And we got rid of Galarian Rapidash and picked up Mienshao. So we dropped the fighting type that we drafted the previous round, being Poliwrath, and we regained the fighting type while keeping the same speed tier that we had with Galarian Rapidash at 105 speed. So our team going into the next game is Volcanion, Guzzlord, Mienshao, Registeel, Mudsdale, Swellow, Clefairy, and Rotom. We still have the Rotom as well. So yeah. In the coming days, I'm going to have to think about how I want my team to look once I get like my full budget and I'm able to take Pokemon at the highest tier possible. I kind of already have one high tier Mon in mind that I want to pick up at some point, but I'm gonna have to think how to build the rest of my team around that and plan how I'm gonna do. Like, I don't have to have the best possible team to go into these last 2 games. I need to make my moves in a way that you know, positions me to, like, sets me up for having the best team come bracket rounds, right? So I could maybe like, I don't have to use up all of my points all in 1 week just to make sure that I have the best team possible. I can hold on to them if that's what's going to allow me to make the best moves for the bracket round. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. We'll be back next Friday for the semifinals of the Pack Low Tier League. And you should see another video from me going up tomorrow as well. It's going to be the draft analysis for APA. And also, if you're looking forward to the APA draft stream, that's happening at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow over on OG Albina's Twitch channel. So yeah, go check that out. You can see my team kind of get drafted in, you know, alongside all of the other picks. And we'll have a draft analysis up for my team specifically up later that day after the draft stream. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Draft League content, and yeah, comment down below as well. We'll see you tomorrow for that draft analysis.